welcome to my channel. Today I want to vamp up my little wooden box with some hexagons that I made with my leftover resin. I painted that box with white acrylic paint so it has a nice foundation and the colors of the hexagons shine through better. Ever since I'm a quilter, and I have those little hexagons, they inspired me to do an old quilt pattern called Grandmother's Flower Garden. Basically, it's little flowers separated through a one colored background, um, as you can see over here. And the glue I'm using is just wood glue, well, glue that is for woodworking. So I take you with me through that adventure of doing so, and I speed it up because it took me about 3 hours to cover the whole box top. See you on the other side. Now I'm trying to get rid with my Dremel tool of those pieces that are not needed. But with this tool, with this kind of thing, it doesn't work because as you can see, like right in a second, it chips away just like that. And I didn't want to use that tool anymore. Kashing, gone. I changed my tool on the Dremel and put some sanding paper on it, and this works much better. Nevertheless, I will have to fill in the gaps that happened, and I have to sand again. You can see all them little bits and pieces that broke off of the box, and I have to fill in the gaps again, and yeah, have to sand again. So yeah, twice the work, but you know, I guess it's worth it in the end. I cut some of them tiny little hexagons in two pieces to fill up the gaps, because there's only like little pieces needed. I'm finished now, and this is how it looks. And as you can see on the outer rim, there are still some hexagons sticking out. I let that dry thoroughly before I do anything else. And here you can see me sand those edges smooth, and you got to be really careful doing so, because some of them little pieces are really small and they like chip away and you won't find them anymore. So you have to start all over to fill in those gaps. It happened to me once, and I didn't really was taking care of the hole, but it was just a small piece, so I didn't mind anyway. And this is how the sanded piece looks like now. And you see the edges are smooth. Now I'm taking off the hardware of that little box, because I don't want it, if the resin leaks underneath my tape, um, the box won't open anymore. I had that before happen to me, and I don't want that anymore. So if I can take off the lid, then I will. Now I take my painter's tape and wrap it tightly around the perimeter of the box top. And I really pull it tight because, like I said, I don't want the resin seep through the tape and off of the lid. And I have to make sure it's really, really tight sticking on that box lid. And I take a pen and rub it really, really hard on there. The other thing you can do is you can heat it with your hair dryer, the tape when you got to stuck it on there, and do the same thing. This activates the glue on the tape and make sure that you don't have no seepage. So I put my lid on those two plastic cups to raise it a little, and now I let the resin on one spot, usually on top of that lid, to let it find its own way in those little crevices, because they're really, really tiny, and I know there is air trapped underneath those hexagon pieces. So I have to do that really, really slow so the air has the chance to escape from underneath. So I spread the resin a little bit with my spatula just to make it easier for the resin to level itself. And now I'm tapping my box lid because I want the resin go where the air is and the air comes out. I'm taking my torch and getting rid of the bubbles that rise already. But you got to be careful with the torch because you don't want to burn your resin nor the tape that you have around the lid. I will check about every 10 minutes to see if there is any more trapped air coming up, and I'm getting rid with the torch with the bubbles. So now I do that, like I said, every 10 minutes for like 5-6 times, and everything else that comes up after that, I don't have no chance to get rid of it. But I'll try. And if so, I'll show you later what you can do about that if the resin already hardens. The resin cured now all the way, and I'm taking the painter's tape off. As you can see, the edges are really like different heights and really sharp. And I will take my nail file to sand those off. I will not take an electric tool for this because this is like rather delicate, and I don't want that tool taking too much off, and I can put it back on again. I'm sorry for my voice because I have a cold, and it's not COVID, but it's almost like that because my husband had COVID, and yeah, just excuse that. I just checked the edges, and they are really sharp, and yeah, I'm gonna take them off now. And whenever you sand something that's made out of resin, please wear a mask because the dust is gonna get into your lungs, and this cannot be healthy. And I'm sanding not just the edges on the top, I sand the edges on the sides also because the structure of the painter's tape has built up there because the resin makes a one-to-one copy of it. So I'm sanding this smooth and yeah, giving my best not to scratch the top of the lid. The resin is still soft even though it's already hard, but to fully cure it takes like 3 or 4 weeks. So be careful not to scratch the top. But if you did scratch it, you have to just put another layer on top of it, and the scratches will disappear. From the bottom of my box, I took the hardware away too, and now I'm painting it black. This is just some ordinary acrylic paint. You can use any brand or any color as you wish. After the black paint, I'm taking some gloss varnish with some red glitter because the hexagons in between those little flowers are black with red glitter too, and I want that to coordinate with the top. As you can see here, I'm only painting the wood piece of the top and leave the resin piece out. After the color is dried, I paint the box in the inside too and on those corners. I painted the box and the lid twice with the black color and let it dry in between. Once the black color dried, I put a little bit of my gloss varnish in my cup and some red glitter to it. And it depends on how much glitter you want. You can put more or less in it. And if you had put too less in there, you can like paint it twice and then you have twice as much glitter on it. Everything I use I list below in the description box. The gloss varnish here still looks like kind of milky, but if it's dry, it's all transparent and you only see the glitter and the shine of the gloss varnish. And I'm painting the inside of the box with the varnish too because the wood is rather like rough and I wanted to have a shiny finish. And here you can see a little bit of that red glitter in the light. I like that very much. Patience is not my big thing, so in between the layers of the color and the gloss varnish I will dry the box with my hair dryer. So now you see me painting the resin part of the top on the sides and I'm trying to make an even line. On the sides the resin still has the structure of the painter's tape because I didn't file it away all the way. But I think in this case I like it because the wood is kind of structured too and I think it coordinates good with that. Now I'm painting the corners of the top because there are some places where I didn't put them hexagons back on because it was just too tiny and too small to put anything on there that wouldn't chip off. So I'm making a rather thick rim around my top and just to cover that a little. And you gotta be careful when the gold color is still wet that you not gonna put it on the top of the lid. In my opinion, the box bottom was like kind of plain looking, so I decided to put another stripe of gold color down just to add a little interest. So I put the hardware back on, painted where it had flaws with the gold pen over it, and yeah, that's about it. Now this has to dry, and here you see me taking those gold bits off that I don't want. I used some isopropyl alcohol on that cloth to get rid of the color. So a little touch up here and there and our box is finished. When it's fully dried, I will show you some pictures at the end of this video. Thanks for watching and I hope you had a lot of fun just like me. If you like what I did, please subscribe to my channel or ring the bell or leave a thumbs up. I'd like that very much and it's very much appreciated. Until next time, bye bye.